Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the BSR MX5 Monday Cup here at Zolder Alternative Layout. I'm Austin. I am joined by Marco Bob Ranera. Marco, how you doing?
Doing fine, fantastic. My rig smells a bit of coffee, but that was for an unfortunate incident before the broadcast. Broadcasting-wise, we are ready and good to go. And this is going to be an interesting one, because you were talking to me in private before the broadcast, Austin, like, it's only one corner in this layout that is different, but it changes quite a lot of the complexion of the race we are going to see tonight.
Yeah, Zolder is a very tight circuit. Not a lot of side-by-side action is going to be here, but since we have the three, we usually have three overtaking opportunities, but with the very penultimate corner changing from that tight 90-degree kink and chicane to a very fast flick of the car, it changes the aspect of the first corner. You're going to have to brake a lot more for the first corner, and it's not going to be that easier to go through there. You're going to have a lot higher load going into the first quarter, as well as the fewer overtaking possibilities. So expect moves into the chicane to be even more chaotic and deeper, especially into the hairpin. But overtaking is going to be sparse through this race, but expect some close racing between everyone else.
And of course, if on the other end, I think this will be a little bit of a helping hand for the drivers if we think about the rolling start, because instead of having to, basically sort themselves out for the chicane, they will have the luck, so to speak, the positive thing of having the, somewhat of a straighter line through the green flag. Somewhat.
Yeah, we won't have a... Yeah, we won't have the normal chaos like we do, we won't have the normal chaos like we do at the Le Mans starts, like we saw at the very start of the season, where we had like 5 different groups of people starting at the same time with the chicane separating everyone else. This is a soft 45-degree kink, and then returns back to a straight line. So we will have a straight line double foul start on here, but we might go 3 wide heading into first corner if somebody's brave enough.
Absolutely, and as we are heading for the end of the qualifying session right now, it is leading the way Martin Sampson in front of Ben Sharp and Carl Hardy. This is the top 3, Automech, Fury, and Result Clothing, the 3 teams leading the way so far. We did a little bit of an update more than upgrade on the graphics. Last week we switched to miles per hour, which I hope you like, and now we are back to the slanted style. Maybe also to give a little bit of a difference between this series and the Tuesday series, a little bit more character. And I mean, these guys are certainly putting on a show tonight. Tyler Maxson is here, and he's an amateur driver. I don't know why he always starts as a pro. That is completely my fault, I have to say. But he said.
Well, he does race.
Yeah,
he does race these cars in real life, so give him a pass. I mean,
we had that little bit of a misunderstanding a couple of weeks ago when we were running around it was the Charlotte round, of course, and that was less than ideal.
And there's the alternate layout that we were talking about, showing its stuff right there. It's before the normal kink, so expect a lot faster speeds heading down the front straight.
So we are almost done with qualifying. It's should be an interesting one. This one, I think that many drivers will be not very used to this particular. It's like we said, it's just one corner, but it changes a lot. And yeah, with the checkered flag waving very energetically as per usual by the race official there on the start-finish straight. And we have this fantastic camera view of the top of the grandstand. But all jokes aside, seems like Martin Sampson... Oh, Tyler Maxson all of a sudden jumps into second place. Giacoletti improved,
what a
but
lap.
Yeah, not enough. So Giacoletti and Maxson improving in the final lap, but not enough. Well, Maxson jumps Giacoletti. but it is Samson with the provisional pole. Here comes Cooley, I think, another driver that's running around, but I think he is already got the checkered flag, so we are just waiting for the session to switch over as Cooley gives us a little bit of drifting.
Yeah, not the best drift by Steve Cooley, but he's more expert at keeping all four wheels on the ground and driving fastly. But that does show that this circuit is going to be a mess because these chicanes, they have some high curves which will pop up the two wheels of these cars and just make it so hard to control, as I believe Steve is just going to demonstrate the last few chicanes that Zolder has to give us. But Tyler dive on Max and going up into second. That's going to shake up the start of this race, as I believe everyone is starting to grid up right now. We should bring the grid right for y'all right now.
Here we go.
All right, starting on pole, Martin Sampson, followed by Tyler Dive Bomb Maxon, Carl Jacqueline, Ben Sharp, Carl Hardy, Adrian Hendy, Steve Cooley, Mikey Key, Phil Regan, Ralph Collian, Scott Malcolm, Steve Hansford, Charles Kellyman, Peter File, Andy Maxwell, Dale Bennison, Graham Sesford, Michael Berry, Neil De La Fleur, Alan Toon, John Moore, Max Borre, Matt Emery, Dan Blake, Wouter Van Essen, and Mark Westwood fills up the grid. And it will be a full lap rolling start for everybody behind that wonderful Porsche safety car. Now, a rolling lap around here is going to be very hard to keep it clean, especially through the chicane. So we might see a little bit of a backup.
And Austin, I think that this will be, of course, of help to us because we won't have to rush through the grid in race 2 and race 3. Of course, let's remember that we are going to have random reverses for the second and third race of the night. With the important for the driver will be to have to finish on the lead lap or one lap down if they want A, to score points, and B, to be eligible for said reverse grid. As we are now rolling. Yes, it's a pace lap, full pace lap, not very long pace lap, but still will give the drivers a little bit of time to get into the mood for the racing. Weather-wise, we have, well, it's very early in the morning, 8:11, and you can see no wind basically, 2 miles per hour, 18 degrees the air, and 19 the track temperature, overcast weather, so pretty much ideal conditions, Austin.
Yeah, ideal conditions in the morning. Second race is going to be probably pristine. And at the end, I believe for following tradition, it's going to be a sunset race to end out the night here. But as they're all coming down this long side straight into the biggest part of this course is this deadly chicane. And just seeing on how much Tyler had to check up to let everyone through there, is I hope no one has any collisions, but they're all going through there slowly. But there is so little room. Expect a few people to be in that gravel on lap 1 or throughout the race when they send something up the inside.
Yeah, that is going to be inevitable here as well, even though here you have a little bit more leeway because you can go there. I mean, that first chicane has got so many, it gets very, very high curbs, if I can get my words out. So it is very, very easy not only to miss the chicane, but to bounce so hard on those curbs, so you lose control, you can wipe out yourself and other competitors. Second chicane a little bit better than this chance here at the hairpin, and then from here on, from the hairpin, of course, the big change, we are going to go for the quicker left-hander instead of the chicane, not this left-hander here, which is basically not a corner, but that one there. As
kink.
The kink, as the pace car is heading for the pits. Time to go racing, Austin.
Yeah, pace car is going to go straight off, and everyone's going to go to the left, and we're going to be following Martin Sampson as he leads out the field. And Tyler Maxon already on his tail as they go into the improvised turn, and they have already launched themselves up as we're going green flag racing here at Zolder. Great start by Sampson and Maxon, but look behind them, Ben Sharp and Carl Jacqueline going side by side. Carl Jacqueline going around the outside. Ben Sharp sending up the inside, but Jacqueline kept himself there. As that also look at Mikey Key sending it up the inside of Ben Sharp into turn 2. Tyler Maxson and Sampson bound for the lead. Maxson sends it up to the inside and takes the lead of the race already within 2 corners as they come out of turn 3 right now. Down the long straight into the first chicane from the blimp and up from behind. Who's going to send it first? Tyler's taking a very defensive line as they head into the chicane. And everyone's going to send it very easily. Oh, cars.
It's Mick Barry.
Was that Michael Barry?
Yeah, skipping the chicane. No harm, no foul. As now they're heading into the other chicane, the Villeneuve chicane. Carl Hardy and Steve Cooley in this fight here, but Maxson with a nice jump there and now looking to pull away. As you can see, 21 amateur drivers today in the grid, and we also have 5 pros, so very good turnout.
Yeah, everyone is looking very good today as, oh, Tyler got a little bit loose, clipped the inside just a little bit too much as he leads them through the hairpin. Now, this is where the track takes on a completely different character as here comes Sampson, and it looks like Tyler had a slowdown penalty or anything because he's dropped down, and he's continuing to drop down from first all the way down to 5th place.
Absolutely devastating slowdown for Tyler. He's losing other position and the cars behind him having to move, trying to avoid him, and that is going to be a big slowdown for him because, you know, it's the first lap, so certainly a very tough situation. As
being turned around. Steve Hansford saved it from going into the wall, but unfortunately got turned. Looking up, Mikey Key going a little bit wide outside turn 2 as he's on the back of Ben Sharp. And Ben just leading out Mikey Key. Mikey Key getting a good run. He's getting into the back of Ben Sharp as they're getting dicey up at front. As the top 4 you see driving along and down that straight. The slipstream will be effect. I won't be surprised if Mikey tries something right here. So he eggs that chicane. A little bit tail happy from Mikey right there, but he is gaining coming up into the Villeneuve chicane.
Oh,
contact. Gives him a little bit of a love tap right there, but they keep on going. But Ben is very out of shape. And oh no, loses the back end. Kept it out of the wall. He kept it out of the wall.
Does he have steering damage? Let's see from his own board.
No, he does not. He kept it out of the wall.
No, but for the loft up, no, the car. So the loft up basically gave him a long, as ski goes wide, basically a long slide that tap there, and now Mikey Key is in danger because Cooley is coming for him, and also look behind. Cullinan, I think, picked up a slowdown. Yeah,
he picked up a slowdown. Here comes Tyler Maxson up on the back of him. I don't believe there was a slowdown. He just really went wide, but Tyler Maxson goes wide, and he's in the wall. He's sideways on the track. He falls track, and big contact, Tyler.
Massive wreck. We have a massive wreck on the front stretch. Multiple cars involved. Maxson drops to the pits, but they are still wrecking there, as we see now on board. Sorry, not on board, but focusing on Alan Toon. He makes it through. Here come the pros. Who's that? There is a guy there. I think it's poor Phil Reagan that was involved. Massive hit, and that took a lot of cars.
It became a car part.
Yeah,
it actually became a car part for a little bit of a second. I thought this was Bathurst, but oh my goodness! So Tyler spinning around in the middle of the track, his car gets tossed up into the air like a pancake out of a frying pan, and everyone else goes flipping all over. Cars just weaving around. That one Fury car, oh my goodness, that year 1 car got out of there with just barely navigated through there. I don't know who that was, but that was utter chaos as we return back to the battle for 3rd place. Is what just happened? Oh no!
Cooley.
Steve Cooley into the wall. Exact same spot where Ben went off as well. Yeah, but this time, no love tap.
All happening today in this first race, which is usually, you know, the calmer one. But, you know...
If this is calm...
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Buckle your seatbelts, because this is going to be a wild ride.
It really is going to be, and of course, yeah, you are right, 2 more races coming your way. We still have 10 minutes left in this first one, so certainly don't go away, as both the first and second car have their personal best of the race. Samson looking to pull away from Jaguar. They really made a gap behind them, as Ben Sharp is in this fight here with Maxwell and is going for a move in the first corner.
Yeah, Sharp on the inside of Maxwell, looking for redemption after the Villeneuve chicane disaster, but he's just sitting back there behind Maxwell, trying to regain himself. And oh, Malcolm goes wide, almost comes into the back of Ben Sharp. I believe he wasn't expecting Ben to be right there, but Scott Malcolm drops back a lot after taking a little bit of trip into the gray stuff. So you go back down a much more spread out field than we originally had. Though I was expecting something to happen like this. I wasn't expecting something to happen in that magnitude, but that was a massive hit that that the entire field took. But that is very good if you're Martin Sampson, who's leading out this field.
Yes, absolutely. And the problem there on the front stretch, I think, is that the track is not very wide. The walls are very close, so once one car loses control there, bounces into the middle of the racing line, all the other cars following have to take a decision in a split second. It's not easy to make the right one, sadly. You cannot blame the drivers for, bouncing into Tyler Maxson.
So we're heading into the Zolder hairpin. Sharp, first man up on the inside, but I believe he's going to pick up a slowdown penalty like Tyler did, because I saw both his front wheels pick up, but he's going to the same spot, and that is a successful move, as he's going to go up into 7th ahead of Maxwell as they take that little alternative route, which is tighter than the original route. I must say, the track's not that wide. It looks like an escape road.
Yeah, it really looks like an escape road. I tell you what, I think that particular layout is not used in real life. It's just, iRacing put it in because to have some sort of variety, but don't quote me on that.
I'm not going to quote you. We'll just have to quote the Zolder website in real life. I believe this might be a club layout that they use for track days. As Maxwell is following Sharp. Gets a good run on him, rides it into the ground just a little bit. And Ben Sharp, you see that damage on the back of his Mazda, as here comes Maxwell. He's going to try to set it up into the chicane. Hold on to your horses, everybody, because we're heading into the barn. Sharp jumps into the air. That might have gave him a little bit of underside damage, certainly upset his car, but thankfully both of them kept it clean through there. But Maxwell under pressure by Malcolm, who kept that chicane to his own line. They're heading through Villeneuve right now, which I like to call a knockoff of Ascari.
As we are, looking, I'm surprised that Sharp didn't get a slowdown for basically cutting the chicane there. You get a big enough penalty, of course, with the off-track and bouncing hard. As you can see, Sharp is a little bit sideways. The two Year 1 guys in front of them are very close, but also I don't think they will make any silly move on each other. So let's remain on this battle. And Michael Berry is also coming through. Look at how much the suspensions are put in a stressful position. And as I say that, here we go, Bennison.
Yeah, they're just playing nice with each other. I don't expect these two to battle each other that much, but Ben Sharp and everyone else, they're going at it. Because look at Malcolm. Malcolm's fast through here. We saw him go wide last lap, but he's going to keep it up on the inside, closes the door on Maxwell, and Malcolm's going to steal 8th place from under hit Maxwell's nose. As they head down, coming into the first chicane, you see all the tire marks going off very wide outside of turn 3 as they head into the chicane. We look down from the chopper right now. No moves for anyone else. Barry looked like he was going a little bit too deep into the braking zone and almost made collision with Maxwell right there.
Yes, Barry going very, very deep under braking there. Now we have a 5-car train basically because Steve Cooley has been joined by Sharp. I think Cooley made a bit of a mistake in the previous lap. He maybe lost a bit of time, and now under big pressure from Ben Sharp. Same sponsor, different team.
Yep, same sponsor, different team. Is this a crossover episode like you said at the start of this year? No. It's like Red Bull and Toro Rosso.
But no, in reality, because these are two unrelated teams. Also, they were and they are big rivals. It's a friendly rivalry, of course, but big rivals on the racing track, especially last season, but this season as well. And now to see them with the same sponsor, effectively it's one team sponsoring the other. It's Scott, Malcolm, and Andy Maxwell, and they are now nose to nose in the run-off area. Who goes first? It's Scott
well,
Malcolm.
It looks like Malcolm's going to be the first one back on track, and I believe he's going to... I believe Maxwell just... I believe Malcolm just... Yeah, that's a murder.
Poor Scott Malcolm then in the grass, or should I say the sand, the gravel, more precisely down to P13, whilst Andy Maxwell is down in P16 and now trying to get back at Blake, but Malcolm has got more issues on his plate as he goes wide there. The pressure of the pro drivers, Andy and Blake. Also, Sharp and Cooley are once again going at it as they head into Villeneuve. As they head now for the hairpin. Sharp looking on the inside. Oh, that's a very, very brave move. It will not work. But, very
he's
brave
caught up with
indeed.
the year one cars, I must say that.
Yeah.
But he's the only car I believe I saw that was successful on the dive bomb to start the race. So we're just going to keep our eyes on him as they go down that access route in this alternative layout of Zolder.
And after the race, we will go back to that crash because we haven't seen how Maxon lost the car. We just saw the back end of him, smashing into the fence there. So we should have, I think, a couple more laps in this particular race one. And Martin Sampson is your leader, and 2.1 seconds over Carlo Correct. That result clothing car is Carl Hardy, and he is a lap down. Second place is Carlo Chocolate. Here you see him go past Hardy. Mikey Key is in third place for Result Clothing, and he is in front of his teammate Ralph Cullinan coming back to the series. It's been a bit since he raced here, if I'm not mistaken. Then running up top 5 is Dial Bennison. He's in front of the battling duo of Sharp and Cooley.
Sharp looking to try to get past that year one car's position his car up the inside, sends it into the yield nerve chicane, and he makes the move absolutely stick. What a move by Ben Sharp.
Absolutely fantastic. Let's get a replay of that from the chopper. And let's see if Sharp will be able to go and pass Bennison as well in the laps that are remaining.
Absolutely beautiful move by Ben Sharp. A little bit aggressive. Got turned in just a tad bit, but side by side they both went, and Ben Sharp separates the year one sandwich with a little bit of green feeling as they're going side by side heading into... We were also in a replay right here, as I believe that is Malcolm going sideways out and keep down the wall. No, unfortunately he does not.
He does not, sadly. Let's see where the race leader is. He is in the coming basically into the middle portion of the track. This should be the final lap, lapping in the 42s. So at the same time, Michael Barry, look at this, lots of chaos with Cooley and Sesford and Ansford and Boiret, the pro drivers leader, as they are all jostling for position.
I thought that was Tyler Maxton right there, but no, he's in the pits. That is the other Fury car that looks just like Tyler's car.
It is Tyler Maxton.
Oh, it is Tyler. Okay. I was just confused, but Tyler setting up the inside coming into turn 3. He was involved. He was more like the catalyst of that massive crash at the start. Well, near the mid part of the race, but very unfortunate for Tyler right there. Hopefully the wheel is in his favor, but I believe he's a few laps down as we're looking at the battle for fifth, side by side through the Villeneuve chicane. Bennison holding around the outside of Sharp. as Sharp and Steve Cooley are gaining on Benison after they've compromised. As we're looking at Sampson, and he's gonna win race 1.
Yeah, great win from
There's
pole
Carl
position,
Jacqueline.
Jacolette and Key, who is going to get 5th place. Benison jumping Sharp, sorry, defending from Sharp, Sharp trying to jump him. Cooley is there tagging along. Easy, sorry, not very easy to pass in this final corner unless the driver makes a mistake. Benison is very nicely through. And he should...
Sharp's got a little drag race on him. They're going to go side by side. Sharp's going to steal. No, Sharp does not steal it, but
nope.
Look how close he came to stealing it between Benison. I thought he stole it for a little bit a second, but I had the results a little bit confused as everyone comes across the line. Tyler Maxson finishes in 15th place. Everyone is just settling down after that crazy first race.
I saw a very beautiful livery, but I cannot pinpoint who the driver is that is using it, so we'll have to wait for the second race. But yes, waiting for the final few drivers to come home. I think we are waiting for Kellyman and Westwood. Westwood with the usual number on his Sunstrip. Hopefully that is not his credit card or telephone number, or maybe it is. Who knows?
We'll try to have our expert analysis detectives try to figure out what that.
Wait, he has a sponsor on his car. Let's see. I think he has a sponsor, so maybe that's the number you have to call to get that to contact that particular business. Now everyone is home. Yeah, you can see there's a sponsor on his car, so maybe it's his own business. Yes, race results are coming your way.
All right, after a crazy and chaotic first race, Martin Sampson takes the win, followed by Carl Jacqueline, Mikey Key, Ralph Colihan, Dale Benison, Ben Sharp, Steve Cooley, Michael Berry, Graham Sessford, Steve Hansford, Max Bourret, Dan Blake, Adrian Henry, Neil Leffler, Andy Maxwell, John Moore, Scott Malcolm, Mark Westwood, Alan Toon, Carl Hardy, Peter File, Tyler Maxson, unfortunately a lap down after causing that massive crash, or being the catalyst that started that insane crash at the start, but he's finished 23rd, followed by Matt Emery, Phil Regan, and Vuta Van Essen 4 laps down, those last guys were also caught in that massive crash. But what a chaotic race 1, and usually this is the calmer of the 3, so I expect pure chaos in the upcoming races.
Absolutely, and so we have 24 cars eligible for the reverse. Now, if Matt Emery gets on pole, he will slot to the back regardless, but for all intents and purposes, we have 24. So in the end, Tyler Maxson was able to finish 1 lap down, so props to him, and all the other guys that were able to finish there despite being involved in that massive wreck. And now it's time for the reverse grid wheel, which should be on your screen right now. There it is. And let's roll it. Well, it's going to be 16, which means that the pole sitter is going to be John Moore. He will start in front of Andy Maxwell and Neil Lay-Fleury, and that there will be 3 also, because there are 3 pro drivers behind them. So effectively rounding up the top 5, Steve Hansford and Graham Sessford. And luckily, since we have a rolling start, there will not be a massive hole on the grid, but they will more or less start, all together and have a lot of fun for race 2, which, Austin, I think it's coming our way very soon.
Yes, race 2 is going to be here very soon. So y'all sit back, relax, grab a cold one, and we'll be right back.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Howdy, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the BSR MX5 Buddy Cup here at Zolder. I'm last night joined by Marco Babranera. I hope you guys had a good break. We're coming back for race 2. And after one chaotic race 1, I think we're ready for a even crazier race 2. The wheel has been spun, and here is your grid. It's John Moore starting up on pole, followed by Eddie Maxwell, Neil Lafleur, Dan Blake, Max Bourret, Steve Hansford, Graham Sessford, Michael Berry, Steve Cooley, Ben Sharp, Dale Benison, Ralph Collian, Mikey Key, Carl Jacqueline, Martin Sampson, Scott Malcolm, Mark Westwood, Charles Kellyman, Alitude, and Carl Hardy. Behind them is Faustus Jones, Tyler Maxon, Phil Regan, Wouter van Essen, Adrian Hendy, Matt Emery, and Pitt Stevens. Notice that some of our drivers are messing with us right now by changing parts of their names.
We are working on that, don't worry. Okay.
Those trolls. Well, the formation lap is going on right now, and they have the entire lap to make up those positions and get ready for a chaotic race 2. And I believe it's time to take a look at the weather, because I believe it's the hottest track of the day.
Yes, let's take a look at it. Here we go. So we have 18 degrees in the air. It's 12-14 almost. But crucially, the track 37 degrees Tyler. Austin. Sorry. I will pay a penalty for that. So yeah, you are absolutely right. The track getting basically 20 degrees hotter than it was in race 1, Celsius at least.
Yeah, 37 degrees is around 100 degrees in Fahrenheit for all those Americans that are watching right now, or just want the other comparison to a system that actually makes sense. Anyway, grip is not going to be spares right there, as already we have people heading off of the track and cutting the corners. So they're heading 2x2 through this tight weaving track. Are we going to have a incident like in race 1, or is everyone going to try to keep it a little bit safe?
You know, usually the more the night goes on, the more crazier the drivers become. So yeah, I think I mean that crash in race 1 was a bit unfortunate, but it was, you know, mid-race. Let's see if the drivers will be more aggressive. As you can see, the pace car stuck in first, if I'm not mistaken. You can clearly hear the Porsche note when it passes in front of the camera.
I think they're trying to blow up that engine. I am not sure what that safety car is doing.
That is not going to be nice for the, you know, the brand Porsche. You know, Porsche are paying big money, no, to sponsor the World Championship. Here we go, pace car taking the final stretch before heading straight for the pits.
We saw this at the start. They jumped the start incredibly as they arrived on that first turn. Is the same going to happen, or are they going to take this a little bit more leisurely? Well, here we go. As they take the left and then the right, they're on the front straight, and they've gunned it as the green flags drop. And we're going green flag for race 2.
Moore, very hesitant.
At Cars.
Very
Great start.
hesitant. He started and he stopped. Sorry to cut you off there, Austin, but he seemed to have gotten the position regardless. But that was a very strange start. Oh, and
chaos already.
Drivers left and right, Neil Lafleur
and Steve Hansford, both of them off of the track right now. That was Lafleur, who was the car shooting off to the inside, and Hansford went to the car on the outside line. We're looking at the front of John Moore and Andy Maxwell as these two are racing out in front. Through turn 3, a little bit of jostling. Somebody's in the pits. That was Lafleur who's teleported there. But they're all racing down. They're going side by side into the chicane, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get popping right here. Easy for Andy Maxwell, but John Moore.
No.
There goes John Moore getting spun around by Ralph.
John Moore dropping
messages.
Several positions.
The radio is going on with me right now, and there was an apology with that. Nothing intentional about that hit.
So let's see some of the biggest, disappointments from race 1. Tyler Maxson is sitting in P12. Carl Hardy is in P18. As we see some more fighting here in the middle of the pack. Drivers going left and right. That is Mick Barry trying to make a move. Race 1 winner Martin Sampson is up to 12th place. Crucially behind Tyler Maxson. This may be a battle to follow. But Mick Barry in a bit of a predicament because here comes Carl Jacolet as Andy Maxwell. Where is he going?
Oh!
Massive slowdown.
He's got a massive slowdown penalty, but he pulled a nosedive. A little bit of a stoppie on a car. I never see cars do a wheelie, but that was on his front wheel, so that was impressive. He kept the car pointed straight. But as we were talking, and there's a car going slow up the inside. That is
Cullinan.
That's Ralph Cullinan.
So let's see. It was a great save, but maybe a little bit of excitement for being in the lead. I know Andy is, very, very quick driver, so it's not new for him to stay at the front. And look at now, the car will, boom, pitch in the ground. Luckily, it's not real life. Otherwise, I think like he would have stayed there. Like the front of the car would have stayed in that place, and the rest of it, I don't know where.
He might have had a flip.
He might have pulled like a Oriole serve. I don't know if you remember early 2000s in Laguna Seca. Oh, here we go, Maxson.
Tyler Maxson's got spun around. 2 races in a row, Max has been spun around, but luckily he avoided the wall and he kept the car moving, and no other cars were involved in that. But oh, that is very unfortunate for Tyler. Dive bomb Maxson right there. I saw him pulling some amazing moves up 11 places before that incident, and now he's down in 19th.
All things considered, Maxson is holding on very well. Look at the damage then. We didn't notice that at first. Look at that. The way he bounced into the grass there really damaged the front of his car. Now going wide. Here comes Jacolet. And now here comes Cullinan. Let's go on board with Ralph. Former driver of Blue Flag Racing. I don't know if he still races for the team in other competitions, but certainly he was a proud and very, very respected driver back in the days of the BSR GT3 series on Sundays. And speaking of Sundays and GT3s, I have some news for you later tonight.
Well, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be excited as, very, very wide goes
Maxwell.
He goes, and Ralph, Maxwell went very wide, but he set himself up for the inside line. But that was a very crazy bit of understeer that he had. And the track temperature is certainly causing a little bit of chaos in these faster corners.
Mikey Key now, I think that Maxwell is really, really dealing with a lot of damage on that car. He might have gotten away with it, and it's great for him because he can continue, but certainly, he really is planted himself on the gravel trap there, and now it's Mikey Key, the next in line to take a shot at the OSL H-Con Racing driver.
And, Maxwell defending that like his life depended on it, but as they head into the Villeneuve chicane, Mikey Key made that look easy as he jumped up into 6th place. As well, look at Scott Malcolm making a move up the inside. Steve Cooley under... He tried to keep his car under control as, oh my goodness, look at that car swerve up into the braking zone. A little bit out of control as Mikey Key goes wide outside the hairpin, and he falls down to 8th place. I believe this is going to fall down to another place as we look up at the bottom for second.
Oh no, Tesford!
Tesford into the wall. Hard impact, does not come back on track, and that is his race over.
Yes, I mean, we caught that at the right time, sadly, for him, and that's a big hit, but this battle continues with now the lone Year 1 car in Jacolet defending from Barry and Cullinan. At the same time, Westwood is involved in a big battle with Craig Jones there at the back. Here it is. But let's focus on this fight for second place, as we have assessed for trying to continue, but still, I think the only thing for him is to go to the pits. As Tyler Maxson is making moves, Alan Toon is losing places, and Scott Malcolm, oh no! Another wreck. Smaller,
Another
luckily.
Car park in the middle of the track.
Someone blew an engine. Someone is definitely smoking.
I believe that was a little bit of off-track smoke popping up. Somebody went off-track into the gravel that is just still getting out of their system. But look at this pack for the 6. Right now, we got Benison, Malcolm, Kellyman, Cooley, and Fossis, and Westwood as they're heading almost side-by-side into the Villeneuve chicane. Up ahead, that is Michael Berry going wide outside, and on the exit of the Villeneuve chicane, it might be a little bit of a traffic stop as everyone's going to have to avoid him in a little movie chicane as they
that's
go
the smoker.
into
It's
the
Steve Cooley.
hairpin.
That is the smoke we are seeing. It's Steve Cooley lagging in and out. Hopefully, we might see him pop in and out of the shot, but he's basically leaving a trail of smoke. Malcolm,
Massive
Westwood.
collision. Malcolm turned around. Cooley got into the side of him, and Westwood avoiding that like the plague, but more front end damage for these cars in that pack. And another unfortunate incident for Scott Malcolm. I believe he lost it on his own and just collected him. We're way far back than when we should be, but this is Scott Malcolm going up the inside and coming into turn 3, and just, yeah, he's pushed that. He's pushed him off. Pushed him sideways right there.
You see the smoke on the left side. That is Steve Cooley's car blinking in and out. You can only see the smoke. You see briefly reappeared. So that was the source of the smoke that we couldn't recognize. Man, by the way, we are having 9 laps this time around. Bennison and Jones. Here comes Hardy. The 2 teammates. Meantime, behind them, it's Kellyman and Westwood. Kellyman still trying to continue, despite you see the massive damage. As Westwood is another car that is enjoying a little bit of, disappearing and reappearing. Behind them, the pros are coming with Finesse and now passing Toon. Bennison, as Barry really doesn't like this corner, cutting the chicane. Bennison goes wide. What's happening in the second race, Austin? Because these drivers are going bananas.
I have one word to say: bananas. That pretty much sums up race 2. It's absolute bananas as Tyler dive on Max and looking up the back end, and he turns him.
He did. Carl Hardy. No. Yes. No. Jones. It was Craig Jones, and he's back on the track, but I mean,
I believe he picked up a slowdown as well.
Yeah,
he was going extremely slow, and he's backed off a lot from that pace, so he might be a little bit mad, but we might need to see a replay of what exactly happened between Maxon and Jones right there. Or Fossis, as it shows up on the replay. So we are at the Villeneuve chicane. Fossis Jones of Result Clothing going through Villeneuve chicane, and out of nowhere, Tyler Maxon appears behind him. Gains a lot of time, so he had a little bit of a...
See, that was the wrong replay.
Yeah, this is the wrong replay. This is the right replay.
No, this is the wrong replay as well.
Nope, same replay.
Trying to see if we can... One more chance.
Here we go. All right, let's see what happened with Tyler on him. They both wanted to occupy the same spot in the braking zone, but that was just very unfortunate for Jones right there, getting into the same spot that Tyler was in. They both moved to the same spot, a little bit too close to each other, and unfortunately contact was had. So we returned back live. We got the battle for second between Jacqueline and Colian.
Yes, at the front, Ben Sharp has said goodbye to the company and is enjoying a nice lead. That is a lapped car, that is Andy Maxwell in P24, that is between him and the rest of the chasing pack, led by Jacolette in front of Cullinan. Martin Sampson, race 1 winner, has gained 11 spots, not as many as Tyler Maxwell, who's gained 15, despite a couple of issues here and there. And then 13th places gained for Phil Regan, who really enjoyed a good qualifying. Then he was sadly involved in that massive wreck, but now he's really defending himself well in race 2. And now this fight here, oh, that might be Dan Blake with the new cool livery for Fury Sim Sport.
That is a very nice livery. Dan Blake going around the outside. They're going 3 wide heading into turn 2. They go back down to 2 wide as Dan Blake gets into the very back end of Westwood. And he's falling back as Scott, Malcolm, Essen, and Boré are all being held up in this massive 4-car pack as they head into turn 3 as we're looking at the battle for fifth between Cooley and Barry. As well as Tyler Maxson also
about
getting up
that.
in there. There's all kinds of chaos happening right now. Tyler Maxson up the inside of McBarry, and he moves up into 6th place as they head into the Villeneuve chicane. As, ooh, a little bit airtime for Tyler Maxson.
Yeah, you notice that Cooley in his overtake on Barry.
Oh, McBarry's back end loss. It goes to the outside of the track, avoids it out of the wall, but he's going to have to keep his track rejoins very cautiously as Benison and Reagan are both there.
Mick Barry doesn't like the Villeneuve chicane. I think he will agree with us.
That's the 4th time we've seen him drive out.
Yeah, and that's, you know, sometimes it happens, or maybe, you know, it's a track corner that you don't mind particularly, but you get at the wrong race or the wrong night where you seem to make all of your mistakes there. Certainly he will be furious with himself, but also when Cooley was passing him, the moment Cooley went for the pass, Cooley disappeared, and then he reappeared in front of him, so he you know, that is always a bit annoying for the defending driver, you know. So this promotes everyone.
And attacking.
Yeah. Now you see. Yeah. I mean, when you're attacking and yeah, the guy in front of you is defending, you know, you can confidently go through. I mean, unless some massive unlucky lag contact, you know, you can basically have make the pass in the racing line, no? More often than not, but. So everyone behind Barry, or most of the drivers behind Barry, go up 1 place. Phil Regan having the drive of his season right now and enjoying those extra horsepower thanks to the Red Bull livery. Here comes Barry on the inside of Dial Benison on the inside curb, bouncing, then taking it easy, perfect. Craig Jones instead.
Oh, look at Jones on that run. Took advantage of both of them going side by side, and he's going to steal 9th place right here around the outside. They're still going to go side by side.
Oh.
Unless that happens. Benison gets into the back of Barry, giving him a little bit of a love tap. Now Barry actually gets to the Villeneuve chicane cleanly, but he's under pressure by Craig Jones.
I mean, entering the chicane, he got rammed, so I still think that he doesn't like that. Everything for him is happening there tonight, as we are, by the way, enjoying right now entering the white flag, Sale La Blanca.
Last lap here at Zolder, as it's comfortably easy for the guys up in the lead, but the main battle right now is Craig Jones and Barry right there as they're heading into the first corner. And down the front straight, a little bit of slipstreaming happening. McBarry weaving all over the track as they're entering turn 1. He moves back into the braking zone. Who's going to have the line of all lines? Look at Craig Jones clipping that curb, putting himself side by side with McBarry as they enter turn 2.
Yes, and I think it's a matter of time. Oh, mistake from Jones. I think this will be it. Yeah, so Callinan, I don't think he will be able to get Jacolette. I mean, they are close, but not that close. Needs a mistake, maybe some help involuntarily from the lapped cars, maybe a mistake from Callinan, from Jacolette, sorry. So let's stay with these two. Well, Jacolette doesn't have the best of exit from Villeneuve. Also, Maxson and Cooley are fighting it out. You can see Cooley dropping in and out, but let's stay on this fight, even though in a second we'll have to switch to our deserved race winner, Ben Sharp, as Callinan cuts a bit of the corner there. Will he be okay? Well, Sharp! Oh no! Ben Sharp is out of fuel!
This happened just as Charlotte, the race leader, out of fuel on the very last lap, so he's going slow, and going to steal the win is going to be Jacolette.
Deary me. What's going on there? Another driver with issue is Maxson, but Callinan second.
Maxson.
Sharp third, Samson fourth. Maxson is dropping. Here comes Mick Barry, and he's been passed by Craig Jones, I think, out of team orders or something like that. As Maxson is Has
Oh,
crashed.
he's hit the inside wall. Yeah, he's hit the inside wall, struggling with a bit of damage. He is very upset with himself. That car is crab walking his way down the
Okay.
straight as he's going to settle it right there. But what just happened?
Okay, deep breath and see what happens. Let's see first what happened to our then race leader. Well, let's go a bit earlier if you ask me. Ben Sharp. I think he's out of fuel.
Yeah, he's out of fuel. A little bit of fuel saving right there, but that certainly caused a whole lot of craziness as...
Yeah, he was already lifting and coasting. I thought for a second of a slowdown, but no, he was lifting and coasting. And
Yeah.
think about Carl Jacolette, who says, you know what? That is going to be crazy. I'm going to get the race win, and so he did. Then something happened to Tyler Maxon. Well, he was already pointing in the wrong direction here, so that is less than ideal. Let's see.
As we have a message from Ben Sharp right now. He's tried so hard to save fuel, and as soon as he realized he's messed up, did not have enough to have to continue out as we look at Tyler Max being spun around, but Sharp didn't have enough fuel. He admitted his mistake in chat, and he pretty much congratulates everybody on having a great race and giving us a very exciting end to that, but very unfortunate for Ben Sharp right there.
Let's see what happened to Tyler. Maybe he was... Oh, okay. He had some suspension damage.
He has a lot of...
He slightly clipped that wall, but on the racing sound, it sounded like he basically exploded into the inside wall. Okay, the drivers are certainly waiting for the results and the reverse grid wheel, so let's give them and you viewers at home just that after a very exciting second race of the night. Here we go with the race results from race 2.
All right, race 2 results. Carl Jacolette takes the win, followed by Ralph Cullihan, Ben Sharp, Martin Sampson, Carl Hardy, Fossis Jones, Michael Berry, Dale Bennison, Charles Kellyman, Steve Cooley, Tyler Maxon, Matt Emery, Dan Blake, Adrian Henney, Matt Morev, Wouter van Essen, Alan Toon, John Moore, Phil Regan, Andy Maxwell Scott, Malcolm Graham Sessford, Pitt Stevens, Neil Efroy, Mark Westwood, Steel Fansford, and Mikey Key finishes up this 27-man grid. And I believe after a chaotic race 2, I think it's time to spin a wheel.
Yes, it is for the final time tonight before the third race of the night. And we have, by the way, very quickly, 24 cars eligible for the reverse. Neil Lay-Fleury will be the last one eligible for the reverse grid. Let's roll it. Well, let's say that it's not Neil Lay-Fleury's night because it's going to be full -1, unfortunately for him. So he will miss out on the reverse. So will Kip Stevens because he's a pro. So it's going to be Graham Sessford, Scott Malcolm, Andy Maxwell, Phil Regan, and John Moore, your top 5 for the third and final race of the night. Commiserations to Neil because it's always frustrating when this happens. And a great chance for Graham, Scott, Andy, Andy especially, is needing to have a good result, but Graham was having a good race and crashed. Scott also had some issues, so certainly, and all the other drivers starting there at the front. It's going to be interesting to see if they can deliver in the final chance of the day in race 3.
Yeah, race 3 is going to be our my favorite race because it's under the lights, a bit darker in the skies as we've been having a little midday race in race 2. Race 3 is certainly going to be very exciting to watch, and after this chaotic race, I hope you guys are ready for a exciting race 3 just after this break.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
And we are back. Everybody, welcome to the BSR MX5 Cup Race 3 here at the alternate Zolder. After the wheel has been spun after a crazy race, Graham Sessford starts on pole, followed by Scott Malcolm, Andy Maxwell, Phil Reagan, John Moore, Alan Toon, Adrian Hendy, Tyler Dyball Maxon, Steve Cooley, Charles Kellyman, Dale Benison, Michael Berry, Craig Jones, Carl Hardy, Martin Sampson, Ben Sharp, Ralph Cunningham, Carl Jacqueline, Neil Lafroy, Mark Westwood, Steve Hansford, Brian Holmes, Ashley Beard, Futa Van Essen, Leon Silkstone, Matt Emery, Max Bourret, and Pitt Stevens.
And I'm Blake.
With Dan.
Sorry.
Dan Blake, sorry,
yes. I should scroll the grid all the way through. My fault. Well, once again, the night, even though it's not really night, it's dark and full of mud dust, apparently. So we are excited for this final race of the night. We had a very nice race 1, a chaotic race 2. Austin, what are you expecting from race 3 tonight?
You know, I tried to make predictions for race 1, and I said it's going to be a bit calmer. That was a lie. Race 2, okay, they should probably take this calm, and they got even wilder. So, I expect fires, flames, lightning, and dragons today. This is going to be a real Game of Thrones race, honestly.
Okay, you can go to bed early then, viewers at home, because it will be the most boring race of time. No, never going to happen, because I mean, it's race 3, you know, so it's going to be crazy as usual. Graham Sessford and Scott Malcolm are leading the way as they head into the hairpin. it's going to be once again.
I was talking with a few of the drivers before during the break. Tyler Maxon, he said that he's going for it, no hose bars. So watch out, I must say, for Tyler Dibon Maxon as the safety car is pulling up to the pit lane, and we're gonna have hopefully not a hesitant start like we had last time. The lights are on, and it's nighttime here in Zolder as everyone's getting prepped and ready for race 3. Graham Sesford of Year 1 Racing leading out everyone very slowly, I must say, onto the field. The green lights go on, and we're under green and racing for race 3 here at Zolder. Very calm start for everyone. Tyler Max is splitting the field. They're going 3 wide back in the field as it looks like Andy Crashwell had a little bit of a hesitant start, but everyone's kept it very clean through turn 1 as they're coming into turn 3. Looking at Tyler Maxon and John Moore having a little bit of a battle, but lead up at the front between Scott Malcolm and Graham Sesford is still alive. John Moore, Phil Reagan, John Moore up onto the inside, heading into turn 3. Oh no, he's turned him! Malcolm's been turned. They're all fanning out. They're going forward on this tight track. I believe that is a 72 car of John Moore. This mowing away at the lot as they're heading 3 wide into the chicane. Oh, Ben Sharp's in the wall.
Sharp is in the wall, and now cars taking evading action through the chicane, and this will cause slowdowns left and right, and sadly Dale Bendison has hit the wall and is dropping positions. So Steve Cooley is serving his slowdown 3 wide. Scott Malcolm and I think that is Graham Sesford side by side as they are banging doors. Another chaotic start, and Andy Maxwell inherits the lead. Phil Reagan and John Moore, your top 3.
Yeah, your top 3 and top 2 fighting it out. They're going side by side into the hairpin. That's Phil Reagan and Andy Maxwell going side by side as they come out of the hairpin. Still side by side as they're going through the kink, and now through the alternate kink. It's going to be Phil Reagan leading them out in that Red Bull Dazzle Camel MX5.
And you know, after qualifying and between the races, Reagan really told to us in the chat about the fact that he really feels confident tonight. He has good pace. He's surprised by his pace. And here we go. He's in the lead as Steve Cooley is going very slowly. Maybe a slowdown.
Maybe a slowdown, maybe something happened on the straight, probably had a little bit of impact on the wall. Oh no, around, and it's kept it on the inside. That is Westwood. Oh no!
That is I think it's Adrian Handed, one of the pros got involved, and Matt Westwood is on his lead, as that was at the very end, back end of the amateur field, and involved some cars at the front of the pro field. As we go back to the proper lead of the race, your leader is Reagan. Malcolm coming back at Sesford in the chicane.
Looked like Tyler Maxon lost two spots, but actually Max is setting up the inside, heading into the first chicane. I believe he had a little bit of contact right there, but he did make the move count. We're looking back at the chicane. His cars are going slowly and all over the place. That's LaFerre going very slow up in that sherbet-colored car.
Yeah, also it was, I think, Mick Barry was taking it very easy there, going through the grass. Certainly some massive traffic jam must have happened as Ralph Cullinan is putting pressure. No, it's Craig Jones that's putting pressure on Graham Sesford as they head for the hairpin. And here
comes Tyler Maxon. He's sent it up the inside, a little bit of bump and rub, and as Tyler Maxon made that move stick, and he moves up back into 8th place where he started after that unfortunate start. With that incident at turn 3.
It's Malcolm leading this train of cars from 4th all the way down to 10th. This is Jacolette using a little bit of the run of area there. Nothing too crazy as they are now moving left and right. Let's focus on Maxon. Is going for a move on Cullinan there in the first corner. Can he make it stick?
Going 3 wide. I see the brake disc glowing right there. That is very incredible to look at as Maxon looks like he wanted to make another move, and he's certainly one of the best overtakers in this series, especially in an MX5. Remember, he does race in these cars in real life, so he does have a lot of experience. As we're looking at John Moore right now, currently in 3rd place, Scott Malcolm and Sesford battling it out for third place. They're going side by side. So we're looking back over the blip into the chicane. Here comes Grant Sesford, sends it up to the inside, and he gets that position fairly easily. As well, it looks like Craig Jones is under pressure by Ralph Cunningham. Ralph looking for a move around the outside. Doesn't seem like he has momentum. Tyler Maxa is on his rear end as they're heading into the Villeneuve chicane. As a little bit of car park happens up right there. A lot of people checking up to avoid an incident. Here comes Maxon up onto the inside of Ralph Cunningham. And as somebody who's raced against Tyler, I must say it's very scary when you see him behind you and he just dips off to the side, because he's either going to go into you and get the overtake, or he's going to make you very scared on the apex. But Ralph is defending very nicely, and he's had a very nice race as he moved up 10 spots.
Oh no!
Crashwell. Oh,
Sesford again.
Around.
Again, like in race 2 at the same corner. This time he's lucky enough to not bang into the walls at the same time. There's a clothing fight with Jones jumping Malcolm in turn 1, as we have this camera shot from Spa, all the way from Spa-Francorchamps. So let's go back there as Max on the inside jumps a couple of cars. Can he hold it on the inside curb? He certainly can. And now he will have to defend from Scott Malcolm, number 74 in white and blue, side by side, very clean. I think Cullinan.
Oh, Max is sends it around the inside. Oh my goodness, Scott Malcolm turns into it, and now Tyler Max is being taken out by Ralph Cunningham. Max is in the wall. Scott Malcolm's in the wall. Cunningham went into Maxon. All the big movers of this race. Let's take a look from up above. Scott Malcolm was on the inside. Tyler Maxon went around the outside and a little bit.
Oh, then he touched with Cullinan, and they both basically, hooked into each other. And for Maxon, a disappointing night at the office, one should say.
Very disappointing for Maxon Callingham. And name's on the tip of my tongue.
Don't worry. Yeah, okay. Back to the top 10, where we have race 1 winner Martin Sampson in front of Carl Hardy. And then the pros are coming through very quickly. Beard coming on for this third race of the night, as he is enjoying the lead in the pro category. At the same time, Maxwell leading from Regan, and Moore maybe trying to... No, that is a lapped car. Apologies. That is... that is a lapped car.
That is the 5 of Wout van Essen.
Yes. No?
He's down. Yeah, that is Wout van Essen.
That is Nile Fleury, apparently. Yeah, it's lapped by the 2 leaders. Let's focus on the 2 leaders. Why not? And maybe we can go on board with Phil Regan and bring up those. Yeah, bring up those miles per hour that have been neglected tonight.
Yeah, the best speedometer in the world as they're heading into the Villeneuve chicane. The 2 leaders of Andy Maxwell and Phil Regan. Maxwell having a little bit of trouble on that second corner. The mid-chicane of the Villeneuve chicane, and he's going to fall under pressure by Phil Regan as they approach the hairpin. A little bit of slipstreaming right now, 100 miles an hour all the way to 50, or really 40. As they come out of there, that gap between them is 0.4 of a second, and it is falling as Phil Regan sits behind of Andy Maxwell.
You know, not only this is the best speedometer in all of the leagues, in all of the world, but this is the only league on Apex that has it on miles per hour. So I want to really say thanks to, Pascal for making this possible, and hopefully you guys like it. I mean, yeah, is this the measure of speed used in Great Britain and the United Kingdom at large? So I think it's a good change. And of course, having an American in the booth also makes him very, very happy, I suppose.
Yes, it does. It makes me feel at home. Even if we're across the world and separated by 6 hours of time difference. But speaking of 6 hours of time difference, let's go back to the race where it's nighttime as there's chaos in turn 3. Cars going wide all over the place as they head into the chicane once more. Reagan pulls that gap down to 3/10 now. And he's almost closing now to 2/10, and he might make a move coming into the Villeneuve chicane. Lap 6 out of 9. So they're coming into the chicane right now, getting so close they can reach out and touch that bumper as they all hop over a hump, taking very different lines onto that apex, but they're still right there. Look back from Andy Maxwell onto that dazzled camo of a Red Bull as Reagan going around the outside. Maxwell defending onto the inside. They're going side by side into the hairpin. Shout out to a different camera. They're still going side by side, but I believe Reagan has the lead. No, it's Maxwell. No, it's Reagan. They're still side by side as they're going into the alternative route right there, but Reagan is going to lead. He cut the track right there. Cut the track. I don't think he has a slowdown penalty. He does have a slowdown penalty.
Disaster for Reagan. See, dropping down, and now I think we'll be able to push once again. And not the best of first corners there for Maxwell, so in the end, I think he got away with it, did Reagan, you know, because that would have been much bigger penalty.
Yeah, it unfortunately was a massive penalty. Had a little bit of radio transmission. I wasn't sure who that was from, but it was a apologetic. As the look at the battle for third, Jones on Moore. They're going wild right there. But Jones gets the inside line on Moore as they go into turn 3. Look back at Maxwell and Reagan. That penalty did not affect Reagan that much, and he's still in there. Looking back at Cooley and Jones.
I mean, yeah, Reagan really feeling it tonight in this, like I said, all night long. Finally having a good race at the front, deserved for him. Maxwell also as well. Don't forget that car that you see behind them is Neil Lay-Fleury and he's a lap down. So in third you have Jacolet. Good run from Reagan right now.
Yeah, they're going side by side, heading into the hairpin. Now, will Reagan on that inside line take the lead instead of having the outside line? And will he not cut that corner?
Yeah, seems like he made the first part of the proposition. Let's see if he can make the second, which is not go off the track here in the final corner. Don't cut the track. Seems like it's all good. And all of a sudden, Carl Jacolet, profiting from this battle, is joining the party. He has joined the party.
Yeah, joining the party is player number 3 of Carl Jacolet. And knowing Carl, he's going to have his teeth sunk in on the back of Andy Maxwell as they're heading into turn 2 with 2 laps to go.
And no friends to show.
And Jacolet. Yeah, nothing to show as they head into turn 3. Maxwell defending hard from Jacolet. Anywhere he was going, his car was right there. Make that Mazda as wide as possible. And that is great news for Phil Reagan, seeing these two guys battle in his mirror as the entire field kicks up some dirt on the exit of turn 3.
It's basically a 5-car fight for the win and for the podium positions from Reagan to Cooley. There is not a lot between them. Cooley a little bit far behind and Jones maybe, but nevertheless, all 5 of them really close. All 5 of them waiting to pounce on mistakes as Reagan is about to get the white flag. As Jacolet on the inside of Maxwell, now braking for the hairpin. Here comes Jones, who is going to get out of that first. It's going to be Jacolet.
Out the hairpin. Yeah, Carl Jacolet gets the advantage outside of Maxwell, but now that battle for second has gone up to 4 cars. And it's going to get crazy now as we enter the very last lap here in Zolder.
Mistake from Maxwell coming out of the final corner. Here comes Craig Jones. Here comes Steve Cooley. Jones now blocking Cooley. Cooley disappears. And they
Jones
make
turned.
contact.
Jones has been turned and Cooley gets turned around. And Cooley in that teleported car, they both settle on the exit of the road on the inside. And that is very scary when you have a teleported car. You try to defend from a car that is popping in and out of existence, which is unfortunately what happened to Craig Jones right there. And Steve Cooley as we return back for the battle of the lead. Separated by 1 second. The top three is Reagan, Jacqueline, and Maxwell, as they're all heading into the chicane for one last time. And that gap is falling. Jacqueline, can he close in on Phil Reagan for a last corner dash?
Jacqueline gaining 16 positions in this race, looking for one more. Phil Reagan gaining 3, closing to his first BSR victory.
Yeah, here comes Jacqueline. He's up on the inside. He's caught up with Reagan so much. I thought this wasn't gonna happen, but one last dive into the hairpin. Jacqueline up onto the inside. Reagan up onto the outside, but Jacqueline, he's gonna have the advantage coming out of the hairpin and has the lead of this race. Now Reagan's gonna be sitting in that switcher and might have a little drag race with Jacqueline coming into the very final corner. A little bit of a lift coming into there. I think they went off track, but no penalty was happening, and taking the win in race 3, it's going to be Carl Jacqueline, followed by Phil Reagan and Andy Maxwell is your top 3.
Yes, cars are moving all sorts of positions, trying to enjoy one more run. Cooley goes wide, loses a couple of spots. He will finish in a disappointing P12. What a fantastic finish of the race. Jacqueline is the deserved winner. The biggest moving non-pro of the race. And got a feel for Reagan, because could have been his first BSR victory. But, you know, you have to earn those victories. He did everything perfect, but Jacqueline in the end was too quick. What a fantastic night of racing. And another race that was full of surprises, full of battles. I think that a lot of these drivers will go home happy. Some drivers will not go home happy, but certainly we, you know, the spectators and the commentators as well, best seat in the house, as I always say, were really given a nice show. Who are we waiting for? Ralph Cullinan. He is going to be your final finisher of the day. And now, the race results should be on your screen in just about 5 seconds.
After a crazy race 3, here are your results. Carl Jacqueline takes the win on the last lap against Phil Reagan, who finished in second, and they finished ahead of Andy Maxwell, who completes the podium. And followed by them is the pro of Matt Emery, John Moore, Craig Jones, Carl Hardy, Martin Sampson, Charles Kellyman, Steve Hansford, Max Bordet, Steve Cooley, Scott Malcolm, Alan Toon, Dale Bennison, Ralph Gillingham, Liam Silkstone, Ashley Beard, Dan Blake, Neil Laforet, Mark Westwood, Graham Sester, Vuta Van Essen, Michael Berry, Tyler Maxon, Brian Holmes, Adrian Hendy, and Ben Sharp finishing in 20th place. And I don't think Hendy and Sharp got one lap in. But what a insane race 3 we just witnessed.
And we have the race winner with us, standing with Austin. It's Carl Jacqueline.
Howdy, Carl. How was that?
Yeah, that was quite successful, wasn't it? Very pleased with that.
Well, you certainly closed him down. You closed him down on the very last lap. You were down by a second and closed that gap, and into the very last hairpin, you got him. What was going through your mind?
I just was hoping he wasn't going to do anything silly and shut the door, but no, Phil drove nice and clean. Big respect.
All right, all right. Anything that you want to say about the other two races?
Well, I actually came in tonight with just the intention of just racking up some points because I've got a fairly healthy lead in the championship at the moment. Uh, I'm working away this week, so I've just done a 200-mile round trip to race tonight. Um, so I was just going to take it easy and try and rack up those points. But yeah, 2 wins in a second is far more than I expected.
Yeah, that is a Grand Slam performance, I must say. You didn't get the third place, but I believe you're happy with the golds and silvers. So,
Yeah, very happy indeed. I was just looking at the lap times. Yeah, that was a 42.5 on that last race. Yeah, it was going well. Absolutely chuffed, really chuffed.
all right. Well, thank you for tuning in and giving us a great show to watch. Anyone who want to shout out before we head off?
Um, just family for being so supportive of my racing, and of course Year One with their awesome flip flops, and all the other guys who race with us. You know, it's you couldn't do it without them.
All right. Well, thank you, Carl. Marco, anything you want to say?
Well, nothing apart that maybe I will make an order for some flops before the end of the summer. Fingers crossed. I need
Oh,
to know
definitely.
the number of one of my friends. So that I don't know the how
Well,
big his
you can
foot
use
is.
Jack. Well, you can use Jackalette 42 as your discount code, of course, and just log in on Year One HQ and get your order in.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Carl. Enjoy the champagne. Nice victory in race 3.
Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Austin. Have a good evening.
And that was Carl Jacolet joining us. The broadcast is about to end. I just want to remind you, big news coming on Sunday. Thanks to the great mind of Sam Fitzpatrick, we are about to bring you the ARL British GT Championship. Is going to be 6 races shown Sunday nights on Apex Racing TV, and they will be a multi-class series with GT3 and the Porsche Cup car. We already have a lot of people signed up. It's going to be fantastic. 6 races, so short calendar, great fun with 2 races, reverse grids and whatnot. So you don't want to miss that. It will debut starting from this Sunday, so you don't want to miss that. And also, I think Austin has to jump away very soon, so I will just remind you that we are going to be next week. It's going to be a great one because we are going to have 3 races in the Nürburgring 24-hour circuit, so part of the Grand Prix circuit and all of the Nordschleife. It's going to put these drivers onto the test, Austin. I think maybe or surely the toughest test of the season.
It's certainly going to put a test on me because I'm going to have to memorize all these corner names. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. A lot of more action happening on Apex Racing TV throughout the week as Marco goes off and hopefully doesn't choke on his Italian cigar. Uh, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you BSR for this amazing series and choosing Apex Racing TV to broadcast them. As I certainly just can't say thank you everyone enough. As I believe we are going to head off. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Marco, thank you for being an awesome broadcaster. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night.